Today, we're going to talk about attachment, detachment, and the baking process. So, if we want to think about our life, especially our early childhood life, and how we're made into adults, I'm thinking about it a lot like this baking process with these dog treats. And when you're an early child, you're very dependent on your figures, your nurturer, which is typically your mother, and your your father, which is, your God figure. It's the one that's supposed to protect, provide, and keep you secure. We look for those ingredients, and those ingredients are necessary in order for us to establish the feelings of safety and the security in our construct, in the way that our minds work. And gradually over time, as the infant develops, it starts to test its reality to see how safe it can be. And in particular, this dynamic occurs between a mother and a child, in which it's called object permanence, in which this child starts to develop this concept that at first I have to see mommy right in front of my face in order for me to feel safe and nurtured and loved. But gradually over time, there's this there's a separation that has to occur, in which the mother has to go and do her other things in life. She steps out of the room, or she goes in the kitchen. And eventually over time, as this interaction develops, the child will start to realize that just because mommy is in the kitchen doesn't mean that mommy does no longer exist. And so that idea of object permanence has been playing around in my head lately. um I've talked about this before earlier on my channel about complex trauma. You can watch that video if you'd like. But I had several interactions with my mother who had um, a lot of mood regulation issues. And I picked up a lot on her anxieties. I picked up a lot on her feelings of shame. And over time, gradually, I started to realize that I needed to be next to my mother at all times in order for me to feel safe, to try to co-regulate to feel safe. And so as a result of that, not only did I develop codependency, I also developed an anxious attachment style. And that anxious attachment style, when you think about the ingredients, it's like having a bunch of air pockets in your baking batter. Because as you're baking these treats, the ingredients that you put in there, you want it all to be a nice gelatin-like consistency. That's why when I make my batter, I put it in the fridge for a day afterwards, just to let it congeal a bit, right? And what that does is it helps it get this nice firm consistency. But if you have a bunch of air pockets in your batter, what ends up happening is, as you shoot that into the mold to try to make these nice firm treats, you'll get these big air pockets in your treat batter, and then the treats will end up looking disfigured or misshapen. And it's the same way with adults, and it's the same way with our relational attachment styles. It's really interesting. But I've been thinking about that, and I thought, it's interesting because I'm in this situation where I'm testing myself on the open market, on these online dating sites, and I'm realizing, wow, there's this built-in, or at least there was. I'm slowly transitioning it and changing it into a secure attachment style where I feel healthy and detached from the result of the relationship. But at the beginning of these relationships with these ladies that I'm talking to online, there's almost this built-in um mechanism that wants to go to making the woman happy, which is not how it's just not realistic. That people pleasing, codependent, anxious attachment style is needy, and it ultimately pushes the other person away because they can't be authentically themselves if you are expecting something from them like that. And certainly, as I'm stepping into what my identity is as a man, I'm realizing that these early childhood attachment wounds, not only can they be healed, but they also need to be talked about. So, um, so I've done a lot of therapy and I'm doing a lot of self work, but I get to this point now where I'm in this journey, realizing that I couldn't care less about the outcome. I know I've said before that I believe that this company is going to be very successful, but I don't need to be tied to that. I don't have to be a successful entrepreneur in order for me to be lovable. I don't have to create $1 million company in order for me to be considered a success. I don't have to have a significant other next to me at all times in order for me to feel safe and secure and loved and lovable. I don't. And so what happened today is I've confronted two important things today, which was really cool for me. Not only did I confront myself in that relationship with that woman and admitted to myself as well as slowing down that relationship to say, hey, look, I'm going to take a break from this because, I don't need this right now. But being able to confront another person about their effect on me is also another huge step for me. I think that's really cool. I think that's a lot of personal growth to be able to step into my identity and step into whom I am and feel safe within my own body. You know, one of the things for people like us who have these anxious attachment styles is we become dependent on circumstances and people in order for us to try to feel safe and secure. And that's not what God wants. That's not what he wants. He wants us to identify him as the rock, him as the salvation. Psalms 91, right? He wants us to depend on him for our needs, for our emotional, our physical, and our spiritual needs. So we go to him first. And I'm like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense because if we're dependent on other people or circumstances, we'll never be feeling fully safe and secure in our lives. It's an interesting thought. So, stepping into my masculine energy or stepping into who I am as a man, I'll just say it like that because I don't like talking about energies as if it's this new age type of thing, but I will say stepping into my masculine identity, being able to say no to people and not care what they say or think, that's a new theme for me. That's the new me. And that's the me that I'm stepping into. It's certainly um what are the words? It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable feeling at first. Being able to understand that conflict is necessary. Being able to understand that I am worthy of having my own feelings, thoughts, and opinions. Feeling secure within my own personhood so that I don't have to be what anybody else wants me to be. I don't have to develop a company the way that other people develop their companies. I don't have to put myself on somebody else's timeline. And and in a way, it's really healing those early attachment wounds that I had with my mom. And praise God for that. We I've forgiven my mother. I understand that there's generational cycles of trauma that have happened in my family on both sides. And so I made the conscious choice a while ago. I was going to step out of that and I was going to start healing it. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Um, where we're at in this process is it's really nice to be able to enjoy starting a company, making dog treats, and just be myself at my own pace, not at somebody else's whim, not at some type of corporate agenda. No, just picking the right ingredients for my life, symbolically, metaphorically, and in reality. Choosing the days that I want to work, choosing the people that I want to have around me. These are all necessary ingredients for you to heal from anxious attachment. You making the choices who you want to have in your life or not, because you'll decide within yourself your own value. I've already decided inherently my own value, and the things and the people that really truly are meant for me will find me. That's the difference in, you want to think about magnetic attraction. Again, I don't want to get into the new age stuff because I don't believe in that stuff, but there is a certain truth to the fact that you will repel the things that you're desperate for. I lost my car in a car accident. So what? I walk around places. Tomorrow, church, I'll be walking to church tomorrow. Do I care? Nope, I don't care. Do I feel the necessity to try to get a ride from somebody? No, I'll just walk. And if somebody sees me along the way and they're like, hey, I recognize you from church. You want to ride? Yeah, sure, I'll hop in. But I'm just not in a place where I feel desperate and needy for a car. Do I believe that I'm worth having a car? Sure, but it'll come to me on its own time frame. God will provide in his timing, not mine. Um, Relationships. As you're stepping into the new you, the old patterns will show up as a reminder of the areas that you still need to heal and address. And I started this conversation with a woman online, wonderful, gorgeous woman, great personality, very cheerful, but wants to talk all the time. And at first, I wanted to try to like kind of make her happy and, oh, yeah, here's a little bit more about me. But there was something in there. I was like, you know what? No, I want to slow this pace down. This is too fast for me. And it finally came to a head today because I was like, you know what? No, I need to stand in my own power and say, no, um, this is too fast. We need to move a lot slower than what we're doing right now. And you have to understand your own pace in your healing journey. We're all on one. Some of us have a more difficult path. If you have complex trauma in your past, then it's going to take a little longer for you to heal those wounds. It's going to take a little bit longer for you to feel safe and comfortable within your own sphere
Yes. What?
to be
Where are
able
they?
to start addressing those
Where are the
issues one at a
treats?
time.
Where are they? Where'd you
Depression,
put them?
anxiety, these are all
Where'd you
symptoms
put them treats?
of unresolved traumas from
Where'd
your
you put them
past.
treats? Let's go take a look.
And so,
Come on, puppies. Let's go take a look. Come on.
so yeah, once I started applying these
Oh
concepts of detachment,
yes.
which is
Oh
not being
yeah.
tied to the result of a situation, not being tied
Yes.
to, oh, I have to have this person, or oh, I need to have this result on this timeline at this
Those
time.
new ones aren't for you. Let's get you
It's
some old ones.
changing the way that I think, and it's
Let's get you
changing the
some
way
old
that I
ones.
feel in a positive way.
Yeah.
Um, Ultimately,
And somebody else's passion.
we all have to make a choice,
Just
the
dry
types of
bones
people that we want to have around us.
with a burning
They are
desire.
either going
Just a
to
second.
bring a reminder to you of the need for healing. They'll become a lesson, or they'll become part of your life in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I think that's good enough for today's conversation.
He wants the
We
real
are
thing.
where are we
He's
at?
got a
So
burning desire.
on Monday, we need to, I'm not sure when I'm posting
Can I
this
get a
video,
piano?
but this upcoming Monday,
Good boy.
it's
Break.
probably when I'll post the
Baby,
video.
good girl, baby,
But
snippet.
this
All right.
upcoming Monday, we will be
Okay, let's
taking the
try
treats that
something
I've
real
made
quick.
and
Are
sending
you
them
there?
out to San Bernardino,
Where?
California to get them
No, no.
tested at the
Wait.
lab.
Right there.
There
Take it.
is a
Oh,
giveaway on the
almost had it.
15th. So our treat
That's a
is
good trick.
entered into a
Good trick. Wait.
giveaway
Can I get a little
for,
set?
I believe it's for veterans.
Can I get Oh, that's a
Um,
good bump. I'll take
and
another bump. Oh, another bump.
yeah, so I mean,
Another
that's it.
bump.
And I'm not sure
Oh, that's a
exactly
good
how
bump.
long the lab testing takes, but what'll happen is they'll test the
Can I
treat, they'll do
get
a nutritional
a
analysis,
down?
and then they'll send me a PDF
Can I get a stand?
of the nutritional
Oh,
facts
thank
so
you,
that
thank
I
you.
can copy and paste that into
Oh, you gotta eat with
a
these teeth.
program
Where's your tail
where I
wag? Where's
then
your
can
academy? Come on, stand.
like a Word
There's the tail
document
wagger. Where's
so
the
that
good
I
tail
can
wagger?
get those labels printed out
Leave
and
it.
slap that on the back of my package, and then I can start selling those treats in any store that I choose.
Good boy.
Or I
Take
can
it.
sell them door to door or whatever I
Good
want to do.
boy.
But yeah. So listen, if you're out there, if you've got mental health challenges, again, I keep saying this, but you're worth the fight. Keep fighting for yourself. You're the only one that is going to do the work. Nobody else is going to save you. I mean, of course, Jesus is always there, but in the flesh, like right now in the flesh, there's only one person every day that you wake up with, and that's you. And you have to be your own advocate. You have to be your own caretaker. I got in caught in this pattern of helplessness and victimhood, waiting for somebody to come and save me. I had idealized hoping that my dad would be that person that would come and save me from my very dysregulated and rageaholic mom. That's what I was hoping for. And I got caught in this pattern in this cycle of trying to wait for people to come and rescue me. And that's a wicked lie because there's only one good physician that's come to heal you. But he also equips and he powers you. Says that in the word. So we have to take good care of ourselves, and sometimes, no, all the time, you need to make yourself the number one priority in your own mental health and not be dependent on other people for the outcome. So that is that is it for today, folks. I will see you in the next video.